Hello everybody and welcome back to Gardens and Crystals with me, Wesley Peterson, and today I am going to be repotting my beautiful Monstera Standleyana Albo Variegata. So look at this beautiful plant here. It's already really tall. It's probably about a good 90 centimeters, and then it has this extra piece here that's going to give it extra height. And that's not the only one. There are a few more flushing out around the back here. So it's in a pot that's a little bit too small to be put into my new beautiful white porcelain pot that I want it to be in. So I'm going to repot it into a slightly larger pot. I won't have to disturb the roots that much because I'll just be adding the soil around the edge and then putting this plant in the pot. Then we'll get to putting another stake in the top of this, maybe two, depending on how much space I have, and start staking it up. So basically, we just need to get to this. So I've already prepared some soil. I will show you it. This soil is a mix of a really good potting soil, a very healthy serving of perlite. I've mixed big chunks of woodbark in this as well to make sure that this soil is really aerated. So there's plenty, and I mean a lot, of wood chunks in here as well. So that's a really good soil to put around the edge of what's already in this pot. So need to put the plant back down, bring the pot up that I'm going to be working with first, and see how we go. So this is the black pot that I'm going to be using. I've already got a little bit of soil in the bottom, and then I can measure out the top edge of the other pot because I do not want to put it any lower down than it already is, this plant, to keep it happy. I can already see here that I need to take a little bit of the soil that's in the bottom of the pot out to get it just a little bit lower. Well, actually just push it to the sides. That's basically what I need to do. Push that to the sides a little bit. Make a little bit more of a trench. And then I might be able to just get this pot into the trench. Yes, that ended up being perfect like that. So before I start taking this pot out of its original nursery pot, I'm going to leave it in there, put the soil around, compact it, and then I can bring out this, work out the roots. If it's a bit pot bound, put it straight in the hole. It will be much easier like that. So let's get putting this soil in the pot. Need to roll up my sleeves for this though. I really don't want to damage any of those leaves at the bottom. So now I'm finished with putting the soil around the edge of the inner pot. Now I should be able to take that up and there should be a nice trench left behind so that when I take the plant out of its pot, I can tease out the roots and then place it back into that hole and then backfill the top part of the rest of the soil easier. So let's just hope this happens now. Up we come. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. And I'm going to bring this forward to show you what I mean. So I'm obviously not going to tip this too much because otherwise I'm going to lose my trench. But as you can see, my hand goes right in. There's a nice trench. So it's going to be easy for me to put the plant in here now and then fill up the top with more soil after. So let's see how easy it's going to be for me to get this plant out of its nursery pot because I can see some roots coming out of the bottom. I need somewhere I can hold onto the stake without crushing any of the stems because it's really tight in this pot actually. Somewhere to pull, please. Where can I pull you? Not there. I don't know. Oh, there we go. Ah, there we go. Right. Oh, look at these roots. They're pretty pot bound. Look at them. So we just pull those down a bit. Just so that it can find its way into the next pot. Oh dear. This is a little bit much going on here. I hope that's going to fit into the hole now. Look at that, all those roots. I'm not going to take any more out. That's enough to keep this happy, I'm sure. Maybe a couple here on the side that are big that need it. There. Now, straight into the trench with that. And, oh, perfect. And then I can look back and see how straight it is before I start backfilling any more soil onto the top. That looks pretty okay straight away. Yep, that is. And in fact, I don't need any more soil in this pot because I want to have a nice layer of just wood chips on the top. So I will just get some of those. So this is the wood chips that I went and got. Some big bits, light bits, you can see, very nice, very rich. This is going to make a nice layer on top of the pot of soil to keep it moist and give nutrients to the plant. So that's really, really nice. So I'll just put a healthy layer of this around the edge, at the top. It smells so nice. It smells like being in a forest. So nice. That side done. Other side here. So that's all the wood chips done now. So now I'm ready to put another stake into the top of this one. So to start with, I have this little stake here to give an extra boost to the one that's already in there. But that's most definitely not going to be enough. I will be putting another one also into the top of this one. So let's get this one in first. Now, again, just to make it easy for yourself, when you're trying to put one of these coconut fiber stakes into another one and it's made of plastic inside like this, cut a triangle shape out of the plastic. That way you can push it together and you'll be able to get that into the top of the other stake much easier. So, get this in there. Push together the bottom and then hold your stake and squeeze it in. And there you go. Perfect. And that isn't tall enough for this plant already, because if you look at this piece, it already goes over the top of that. So next summer, this is just going to race to the ceiling. So I definitely need to put the last piece in. But to do that, I'm going to have to put the whole plant onto the floor to get the last piece in. But to do that, I will also have to make sure that this is already in its porcelain pot, because there'll be no lifting up after it's going to be too tall. So I just need to do a little bit of sorting out and I'll be back. Right, so now, got my porcelain pot, you can't see it. Need to put my plant in and then I'll be ready to restake the next one. So now my beautiful plant is in its porcelain pot and has 2 stakes running through it, but it's much taller than this. So now I need to put the 3rd one in and then I'll be ready to tie it all up. This stake is wood at the bottom, so that should be easy to get into the top of the other one because the other one is plastic here. So let's just get to that. That just slid in like a dream. No problem. And now we have a stake that is around 3 meters high. So it's a little bit flimsy this time, but I will be putting it against the wall and I will give it an extra tie up along the wire that's on the wall to hold it up and in place. So now I'm ready to start staking these longer vines upwards, so we get the full effect straight away. So a bit of twine. So we've got this piece here. The only thing about staking this up after it hasn't been staked up before is that this plant is very stiff in its stem, but actually that worked out pretty well. If I turn it around here, you can see what I'm doing. It's got lovely leaves there, lovely long leaves, and this piece goes all the way up to here already. So it's already 1.70 meters, something like that. So what I'm going to do is actually I'll start around about here and tie this up here, and then I'll go and tie it a little bit further down, and then I'll tie the top piece up, just to keep it straight and close to the stake to start with. Yeah, first one. I'll just put another one here above this leaf as well. Yes, it's flopping around all over as I said, but I will be supporting it up against the wall. And now we'll take this taller one here and tie that. And it won't take long for this plant to root itself into these stakes. And then some of these ties will be able to be taken off as it supports itself. But in the beginning, it does need those. So that's the first one done. Now, I saw another one. Yes, it's here. So I need to turn this around again so you can see maybe. This also has lovely big leaves and lovely aerial roots on it. So I just need to tie that in so it starts training up here too. Make sure it's there where I want it to be, where there's a gap, which is here. And then tie up. So I would just help it down here with another piece of twine, and it's got some lovely aerial roots that are just floating in midair at the moment, and they need to get into this coconut fibre. So I'm going to put another piece of twine around to get it closer and help it do that. So there, another piece done. You know what? This isn't going to work. This is too flimsy with a small piece of this coconut fibre stake with plastic in the middle, here in the middle, and then another extra long one on top. It's making it rickety and it's falling over. So I need to start again. I'm going to take this off, put the one at the top in the middle, and put the one in the middle at the top. And that way it will be much more supported. Also, because this one at the top has a longer piece of wood that will go further down into the stake. The one that's there right now only has about 2 inches, and that's not supporting all of this. So if I don't want any accidents later on, I need to redo this now. So just keeping this on camera, keeping it real, because these things happen and you can learn from it. So let's get changing this up. Fast forward. Probably won't take as long as I'm thinking it's going to take. Is that better? It's a little bit better because then it can't, yeah, that is much better because then it cannot fall around all over the place. So I might as well tie this one back up to this stake before I go on to the next level to keep it supported. And there we have it. It didn't take me that long to switch it around and tie it back up again, so no problem. Much more sturdy than the other way around. And this has reached up to here. I definitely want it to grow up taller, so I am going to put another stake in the top. But for now, I just want you to see what's happened here. Now this is double as tall, and it is around 170, 1.70 meters high from the floor in its pot. So that is really nice. It's already flushed up. There's another one coming up here, and I can see where it's been cut back down below that there are new shoots coming out, so there will be new shoots coming up, growing around the edge to thicken this out as well at the same time. So for now, I can just leave it like this. And then I will get to putting the other stake into the top. Now, I'm going to get one more stake, put it in the top, so that when I've done this, I know I don't have to come and revisit it again. It will be done once, it will go up, and it will all tie it together because, you know, as it grows up, the roots will go in and it will support the whole stake as one thing. So that's really good. So I will just go and get the last stake and then try and put a hole in the top of this one. It hasn't been opened yet, so that's a bit of a harder job. You have to cut it with scissors and then be able to get the last piece in. So I'll show you that in a moment. So now, in order to be able to get the next pole up at the top, you have to cut all this fibre at the top here, this coconut fibre out, because it's in the way of the hole you're going to be pushing into. It's pushed down into the hole, so you need to cut it to get in. And that could be a bit of a job, but you have to do it in order to get in there, because otherwise you're never going to have a hole. And then you can just start putting it out like this, and you will make a hole so you get down to where the plastic tubing is inside. So now I should be able to put the end of this pole into this other one, just like I did before. Now, as I showed you before, because I made a little triangle, I can push it together to make it as small as possible to get into that hole here. I've done that, and now I can just push it down, twist it in, make it as solid as possible, and there we go. A little bit crooked, but see. Wow, that is a bit wonky. Don't like the look of that. Maybe, like that. Now it's straight. Good. And actually, the whole thing, just switching it up like that with the longer piece in the middle, has made this so much stronger. So that's really great. Now I can come down. So now you can see this plant has been staked up to well over 2.5 meters. So now I'm ready to take you in for a closer look of the whole of this beautiful Monstera Standleyana Albo Variegata in its new pot and all of its stake and its extra height so that it can flush out. So all that's left for me to say now is thank you very much once again for watching this Gardens and Crystals episode with me, Wesley Peterson. Please remember to like, subscribe and hit the bell so you know when my next video will be uploaded. And my beautiful Monstera Standleyana Albo Variegata, and I would like to say goodbye.